Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Fans of Fiction. I'm your host, Gene Skinner. Joining me as always this week, who I just totally didn't call.
Help! He's got a gun!
No, it's not a gun. It's
a gun!
It's a gun from hell, and it will take his soul out. Because there's going to be a special announcement at the end of the stream that even Weeb doesn't know about. But it's coming.
Oh my god!
That's right. So let's get right to the stream. Here we go. A ball, buddy. Oh, I forgot I need to change this because fucking...
In my original fantasy setting, there are no
I gotta change it. They can see the bar for the...
The race of the mother
what a dingus.
Yeah, I forgot.
What a dingus.
Thinks he has some cool ideas.
It's recent, alright? Watch Together changed how it looked recently.
Oh, I just noticed that. I don't like that.
No.
A human man.
It's not that great.
Full-blooded, pure arc daughter.
Pure arc daughter.
I love you, Daddy.
Oh no.
Oh god.
No half races.
This way, I don't have to worry about drawing
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day to those of you who have kids.
Or that have fathers.
That shit is so
Or, you know, I mean, like, if you don't have them, but you, like, you know, they're in your house, like, I mean,
Like a parasite.
Get help. I mean, like get help. But, you know, you do you. Happy Father's Day, crazy.
Dwarf.
One of the worst things I have to say I actually heard was like
mountain forest.
That is the most cursed shit I've ever seen in my life.
Really cursed right there. I was gonna say one of the worst things I actually heard was like an email that was sent to me about getting gifts for somebody. It says for all those dads and daddies out there, like, oh my god.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Cease and fucking desist now.
That's how I felt when hearing it. For all those daddies. No, why did you say it like that?
Simple as.
Simple as. Cursed as hell. Alright. Look, orcs. Orc girls.
Oh.
Are the gym buddies.
Gym buddies.
Both graduated from the Brain Boys Institute.
Brain Boys Institute.
Mechanical engineering.
Believe it or not, very good at mechanical engineering.
Yes.
Brutal but cunning. More here by your own words, sir. Cunning is brutal. It's cunning but brutal. You wanna fucking go right now, you kids?
There you go. There they are.
I don't know how I feel about that, like, at all.
Oh, here you go. Border Prince lore time.
In the Border Princes,
Oh,
fortunes
the gayest
rise
of
and fall
princes.
as quickly as the sun, and the only constants are change and challenge.
Change and challenge.
It is a land not for the faint of heart, but for those with the courage to face its trials. It is a region where the dreams and ambitions of men clash as fiercely as their swords. A place of fleeting dominions carved from the wilderness.
No,
by
not
the
fleeting
brave,
dominions.
the
I
desperate,
need
and
those.
the
But
cunning.
I needed those fleeting dominions.
Power shifts
I need
are
those
common
for
here,
things.
and
That's
alliances change.
That's where I put my
fade,
shit.
Or mutate as quickly as they are formed. In this rugged wilderness, a variety of nascent kingdoms exist, stitched together by adventurers with grand ambitions. Driven by dreams of sovereignty, these individuals often arrive as refugees, escaping political
Look
or
at that
religious
witch in the
persecution
background.
from established and bigger realms like the Empire,
Brr.
Bretonia, Kislev,
Kislev.
Araby, and beyond.
Arabi. Don't forget about
Each seeks to
Indus.
plant the seeds of a new realm,
Every-
transforming the
Everyone
untamed
forgets about
landscape
Indus.
into pockets of civilization that define
Nobody
the
cares about.
chaotic
I mean,
nature
to
of
be
their
fair, nobody cares about
surroundings.
India or Indias.
In this episode, we will explore this fascinating region, some of its places of interest, as well as the powers and factions that make this land as tumultuous as it is.
No, it's pretty tumultuous, alright.
It is.
Nestled to the
He said it-
south of
he
the
said as
mighty
much.
empire of man, and far from the structured chivalry of
I, like, moved
Bretonia,
this
the border
thing, like,
princes
3 or 4
offer a
times now. I think I'm just
diversity
gonna
of
stick with
fortified
this.
towns and fledgling realms.
Fuck it, if it works,
each
it works.
governed
Yeah.
by its own set
looks
of
fine. It's not
ever-changing
bad.
rules and rulers.
I did it for other stuff too. It's just it looks a little stranger.
The
now.
landscape itself is as varied
fine.
as its inhabitants.
We're a bit in front of the
Rolling
text,
hills
okay.
give way to dense
People can't
forests,
read, then
and
they
rugged
can't read.
mountains frame the horizon.
No, they can't hear. Then
Rivers,
fuck 'em.
vital lifelines in this harsh terrain, snake through the valleys, supporting the scattered townships and providing crucial trade routes.
Crucial trade routes.
Located east of the Tilian city-states and separated from the peninsula by the Apuchini Mountains, it is bounded by the Black Mountains to the north,
Why they gotta
the
be
world's
Black
Edge
Mountains?
to the east,
Well, you know why.
Sheesh.
A lot of cold.
and the Black Gulf to the south,
Oh,
forming a wide rectangle. The region is rich with untapped
Nature
potential.
Master Bob.
The relative lawlessness
What
and
up,
constant
Bob?
flux
How you doing,
create
homie?
opportunities for ambitious individuals to rise to power quickly. Adventurers, mercenaries, and traders can find fortunes here if they have the mettle to seize them. As we know, the Border Princess is composed of numerous petty kingdoms, principalities, and fiefdoms,
He
each
said
ruled by
fiefdoms.
different princes or self-declared rulers. This fragmentation allows for a high degree of autonomy, but also results in no common law to adhere to, varying quality of infrastructure, such as roads and bridges, and no centralized form of government to act as mediator between two parties. As a result, borders are always shifting and farmlands and other resources are always a subject of contention between the powers that intend to rule the place. Yet for all its promise of freedom and opportunity, the Border Princess is a land where danger lurks behind every tree and under every stone. The air is often filled with the clash of steel, the cries of warfare, as roving bands of orcs and marauding beastmen bray herds descend upon the unwary. These monstrous incursions are a grim reminder that here, survival is earned by sword and shield, and peace is but a fleeting
I changed
dream.
it, so it's gonna be every other week after this now. Unless we ever change it. That happens, it's fine. Doesn't matter to me. I
It
can
does
change it
happen.
easily.
I may or may not have been way too drugged up.
Yes.
The terrain of the Border Princess presents a harsh
I know,
and
me
unforgiving
drugged up.
environment.
I know.
I get
can't
it.
The
believe
woodlands
it.
are
Crazy.
thick
Mr.
with
Straight
short,
Edge,
thorny
drugged up.
trees, which frequently
No way.
intertwine to create dense and often impenetrable thickets. Even in the valleys where the rivers
Italian
meander,
porky
the
confesses
soil
their hate
remains
for each other
stubbornly
in,
poor
chat.
and the
That's how he says
fertile lands are few and far between. Every day is a struggle, every night a vigil. Yet despite, or perhaps because of, the relentless hardships, a vibrant community thrives. In taverns and market
some
squares,
interesting art.
tales
Looks
of
old as hell
daring and
from
dreams are
Warhammer
traded
stuff.
as freely as the
Hell
waves.
yeah.
Songs of heroic deeds and tragic falls are often heard, inspiring the next generation of adventurers that will surely try to mark their names in no man's
Oh, will
land.
they now? No man's land.
No man's land.
The
Name,
Border
because
Princess
no
is a
man
region
wants to live in
defined by
that
its
land.
perpetual
That's right.
instability
The
and
bad
the relentless
lands.
shifting of power among its diverse inhabitants. Here a mosaic of human warlords, ambitious nobles, and exiled knights vie for control alongside non-human forces,
like these
such as
demons here,
orcs,
these zombies.
beastmen, and the sinister machinations of undead vampire counts, amongst others. Many are the powers and factions that come into play when assessing the political, economic, and military stability of the region. Let's dive into some of these actors and examine what roles they play in these lands.
Look, it's an orc.
No, not an orc. It can't be.
It is.
Mercenaries,
It's damn
drawn
true.
by the lure of gold and glory, patrol the roads and guard the burgeoning settlements of the border princes.
Water that grass.
The region is a fertile
Jeez.
ground for those companies due to its constant state of warfare and political instability.
Oh, it's all
These
about it's all
bands
fun and
range
games
from
until
disciplined
political
professional
instability comes
soldiers
around.
to more ragtag groups of adventurers. Among the notable ones is the Blackfire Band, known for their ruthlessness and effectiveness, often hired by various princes to defend territories or expand their dominions. Another prominent group is the Swords of Sigmar, largely composed of exiles from the Empire who bring a higher level of military training and religious fervor to their endeavors. Additionally, the Grimblade Reavers, a notorious band, are sought after for their expertise
We're
in
not edgy,
guiding,
trust me.
navigating and surviving the region's harsher terrains. Each mercenary company has its reputation, specialties, allegiances, and of course their own cost for hiring, contributing dynamically to the ever-shifting alliances and conflicts within the border princes.
Broke bitches.
Amidst this chaos, a diverse populace ekes out a living.
What, Porky?
Hardy peasants, many of whom
Your
fled
waistline.
the oppression of distant lands, work the soil.
Oh,
They form the
He is
backbone of the
Vulcan
rural
Jenny in the Vulcan
communities,
area.
eking out a
Jenny's
living
waist.
from the
Oh,
harsh
there you
and
go.
often unforgiving land.
Oh, no bulk maxing.
Many are former serfs and lowborn from more established realms, seeking autonomy
How you gonna pick
and
on
a
Jenny?
chance to own land
easy
in
for
this lawless
Canadians.
frontier.
Yeah, she's
They
already
engage in
disabled. You know,
farming,
French.
albeit with poor
And Canadian.
yields due to the rugged
And
terrain
Canadian,
and
like the
constant
worst
threat of
combo.
raids. Others turn to artisan trades, supplying local needs for tools, garments, and basic necessities. The constant flux of the region means these peasants are not only resilient, but also versatile, often
apparently
having to defend
that,
their
like,
homesteads
Jesus.
The
and
art's better than the
participate in
fucking
local militias.
model. That model looked like shit.
Rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
His name is Sap Renhorn. Awful.
The nobles and princes of the
That's
region
what I tell all
are
the
a
ladies. Say, I'm
diverse
gonna
and
set,
ambitious
you know,
lot.
sap your red
Often
horn.
disgraced or exiled from far
it
off
goes over
courts,
well as
from
you
the
might
world
expect.
seek redemption or revenge. Their
I've
banners
been
fly
shot.
once
Please,
more over
doctor.
hastily erected
Yeah, those are that's all
fortresses.
metal right there. That's all pewter.
These rulers
It
are
is,
constantly
computer models.
engaged in defending their
The
territory,
good shit.
negotiating
Oh yeah, good quality
alliances,
stuff, but
and waging
not the,
wars
not the
to
best stuff they
expand
made
their
out of it all the
domains.
time.
Oh god, no! Like the
Many
model,
come
a lot
from
of the models are
different cultural
fucking like dog shit. But
bringing varied
you know, at
gods,
least they'll
styles, and
stand the
traditions,
stand of time.
which
Yeah,
adds yet another layer
Well,
of complexity.
you're gonna
to
have these silly
political life
bitches
in the
forever.
region. The life of a noble
Like,
and
look at
border
that dude.
princess
What is he
is one
doing?
of perpetual vigilance and strategic planning.
If I make
As the
if I
balance
make
of
this
power
knight
shifts
wider, he'll
rapidly,
be more
And
powerful.
today's ally may be tomorrow's
The guy in the
enemy.
fucking right there looks like Thompson.
Their rule is often characterized by a pragmatic blend of diplomacy and military might, necessary to maintain
Look at that-
their
look at
hold on
that
power
Swab
in a land where
motherfucker.
authority is always contested. In the border princes, Bretonian knights often find themselves far from the
Of
chivalric
course,
and
yep.
feudal culture of their
course.
homeland.
The Bretonians.
These knights, typically younger sons without inheritance or those seeking redemption or glory, venture into this wild frontier to prove their valor or expand their fortunes. They bring with them the ideals of chivalry and martial prowess, setting themselves apart with their impressive combat skills and often strict moral codes. In a land rife with mercenaries and cutthroats, Bretonian knights strive to uphold justice
That's
and
good art.
protect the weak, making
really
them
good
both
art.
Bretonian.
respected and sometimes naive figures in the eyes of more cynical local warlords. Their presence often influences the local politics and military tactics, as they form knightly orders or serve as elite bodyguards and commanders in the
Bob, I
armies
hate
of the
Jenny
border
High,
princes.
by the way. Wow, Porky.
Orcs and goblins are ubiquitous and disruptive forces within the region, thriving
Goblins
in the
and
land's
orcs.
disorder and constant conflict.
Those are wild orcs too. Look at them.
These
Feral.
greenskins are drawn to the area
They're
by
very
Those
wild.
ones, on the
perpetual
other hand, are a little
warfare,
bit more civilized orcs.
seeing it as an endless opportunity for battle and plunder.
as
Orc
much in order to be
warbands
civilized,
led by
like,
the biggest and
I don't
toughest
know,
among them
you put your
roam the
analogy of what
landscape,
person can
raiding
actualize isn't
settlements
here.
and clashing with
I'm
any
not gonna
who
even
cross their
say.
path. Together they
You can
form
just make up
ragtag
your own thing in
armies
your
that
head,
are as
Chad.
likely to fight amongst themselves as against external enemies. These
Hard R
green-skinned
orcs,
forces
that's right.
are a major threat to the stability of any would-be ruler's domain within the Border Princes,
Look at that night goblin.
often forcing
Look at
unlikely
him.
alliances among human
He is
factions.
having a good time.
Just to be
Swinging
able
a
to
literal
contain
like
them.
fucking wrecking ball
Their
around.
presence adds a
He's killing those
wildcard
stunties.
element to the political
Oh my
and
god,
military
that is
strategies in the
terrifying,
region,
Artemis.
making
He's
them a
got, like,
constant
shrunken
concern for
dwarf
all
heads.
inhabitants.
Wow. I like that art. That art was good.
Ogres in the Border Princes are often sought after for their brute strength and formidable presence on the battlefield. Due to their immense size and appetite for combat and meat, they are frequently hired as
Look.
mercenaries,
Orcs.
offering their
Those are
services to
ogres.
the highest bidder
Ogres.
in exchange for copious
It's all-
amounts
it's
of
all-
food and corn.
All of them are Shrek.
All of them are hungry
These
Mongolian
massive
boys.
beings
That's
can
right.
turn the
And
tide
the
of a
ultimate
battle,
things against
serving
chaos
as
too.
shock troops
Imagine
or heavy infantry that can
Mongolians,
break enemy
the
lines
best
with sheer
defense against
force.
chaos.
In addition to individual ogres
They
serving
were
in
literally
various
going to
armies,
be the thing that would be a
there are
linchpin in
also
destroying
full
chaos
ogre
in the
mercenary
old world.
companies
Didn't
that
happen
roam
though.
the
The gates
region,
collapsed and everything.
operating
Well, they got-
as highly effective,
they got big
yet
hungry, though.
expensive
They do.
military units.
From the Maw god
Their
they
presence is a double-edged sword. While incredibly powerful allies, their need for constant supply of food constrain the resources of their employers. Nevertheless, their ability to instill fear and cause destruction makes them invaluable in the tumultuous and war-torn environment of the Border Princes. Pirates and raiders have always been a persistent threat here, exploiting the region's fractured political landscape and numerous trade routes. These marauders are drawn to the area's constant turmoil, finding ample opportunity to attack poorly
Man, they're
defended
all so
settlements,
salty.
ambush caravans, and plunder isolated
Yeah, we got 2
communities.
swords. We're gonna do double the damage.
These groups vary widely in their composition and tactics, ranging from organized bands of sea raiders with fast ships to ragtag groups of land brigands on
You know what's one of
horseback.
my favorite factions?
Despite their disruptive
The
nature,
Vampire Coast.
some princes
They're a
and
fan-made
warlords have
faction
been known
originally,
to
too. They were
employ
a
these
completely different
raiders
game.
as mercenaries,
Then they became a part of the real
using
thing.
them as a swift and
And
ruthless
they're
force to expand their
hilarious because they're
territories
fucking
or
sea
settle scores
vampires.
with competing powers.
They're pirate vampires.
The dwarfs
The
that
worst
make their
kind.
living
That's
in the
right.
Border Princes are highly valued for their craftsmanship and combat prowess. Many are exiles or adventurers from nearby mountain strongholds, bringing expertise in mining, engineering, and metalwork that makes them critical in
Nathan.
fortifying settlements and producing
Giant
superior
spider.
weaponry and armor.
Giant
These
spider.
skills
On
make
fire,
dwarves
giant
indispensable
spider.
for enhancing
Sorry.
local defenses
Can't
and
ignore that
infrastructure.
part. It's on fucking fire.
In addition to their technical abilities, dwarves form
Oh, it'll go
disciplined
away. It's
mercenary
on
units,
fire.
renowned for their toughness in battle, often hired to strengthen the military forces
Yeah, but
of
look at them.
various
They're
princes
stunties.
and
What are
warlords.
they gonna do?
Their reliability and loyalty, once secured, make them respected and sought after allies. Organized
God,
in war
Beastmen
bands
time.
known as Bray Herds, Beastmen are led by the strongest, most vicious among them, typically a Beast Lord. These groups are highly mobile and notoriously
Ah, yes,
difficult to
the
track,
Celts.
making them constant threat that can strike
I'm not
unexpectedly.
kidding.
Oh.
That's what the Beastmen are
As
supposed
creatures
to be.
of
the
chaos,
Celts.
they embody the
What up,
primal
Nathan?
and savage aspects of
No,
nature,
the orc aren't supposed.
often
Aren't the
launching
Celts?
brutal
They're angry
raids on
plant
settlements
people.
and clashing with any who dare venture too deeply into their
That's
dark,
what happens if you go
hidden
veganism
enclaves.
too long.
These
go
half-men,
nuts.
half-beast creatures are not just random marauders. They're driven
And
by a
don't forget that
deep-seated
wood elves
hatred
are
for
murder
civilization and the
They
structures
sure
of
are.
man, and as such, they take particular pride in trampling to the ground any
That's a
rising
cool,
form of power
cool gore.
that takes hold in the Border Princes.
Model. I like it. They put in good models for the game. They actually put in a lot of the models that people didn't think they were ever going to put in for them, so good on them.
The Tomb Kings, while more commonly associated with the deserts of Nehekara, occasionally extend their influence into regions such as the Border Princes, due to their
angry
relentless
skeletons.
pursuit of relics and restoration of their ancient rule. These undead monarchs and their armies are driven by the wills of their long-deceased kings, who seek to reclaim lost artifacts and assert their domination.
Even in death, I do not serve.
In the Border Princes, encounters with the Tomb Kings are rare, but profoundly impactful when they occur. These undead
shit,
forces
Gene,
are
I found,
methodical and yielding,
An old
often
tome made
emerging
for
from
Porky.
ancient burial sites,
Would you like
or
to see
following
it?
the trail
Sure.
of stolen treasures
Here, let me send it
that have
your way.
found their way
Yeah,
into
do
the
that.
region.
Yeah, that is for Porky. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Here, Chad, I will drop it in general for you. And Pork, let me tag it for you, buddy.
I can't wait for Porky's reaction. I know exactly what's going to be.
Many masters of the undead, hailing
get
from
ready. This one's
Sylvania,
just for you.
the Vampire Coast,
Found
or
your
other
tome.
dark corners of the world, are attracted to the Border Princes by the constant conflict and abundance
That's a
of
good one.
isolated communities, which provide ample
shit,
opportunities
vampires.
for the expansion of their undead legions.
Look at him walking like he's cool.
He's in
but
the
he's bald.
sunlight.
By
He should be
accounts,
burning to a
often
crisp.
infiltrate local aristocracy.
Why do you think he's so
or
pale? It's
establish hidden
SPF
lairs
4
within the
trillion.
region,
Damn.
using their supernatural powers and cunning to manipulate local politics and bend the will of lesser beings. Their presence is marked by a gradual increase in mysterious disappearances, nocturnal activities, and the corruption of local wildlife and flora, which gradually reveal the infiltration of these undead creatures.
Me too.
With so many constantly moving
Oh,
pieces
fuck,
in the
I
Border
could do that
Princes,
too.
power is never held for long. Leadership changes hands with the rapidity of changing winds, as victories are often short-lived and territories frequently contested. This makes the region a hotbed for adventure and treachery, where only the most cunning or brutal can hope to thrive. The ever-present threat of invasion, betrayal, and usurpation means that no ruler can rest easy
Porky
on
and
their
Jenny are
throne,
balkaning with
and
each
no
other,
day is
yeah.
without its dangers.
I
In
think
such
Jenny
a
keeps getting
dynamic
upset 'cause
environment,
Porky's getting
every
good.
corner of this land holds its own
The
secret
king
not allowed
and
to get
came.
strategic value. Now let's shift our focus
funny.
to the very stages upon which these dramas and battles unfold.
I like how he had that ready too.
One of these is the Black Gulf itself. Its strategic position
Sure, I'll
makes it
join
an
in on
area of
cutting a
interest for
tree.
trade and military activity. It
I
is a
wanna be
vital
part of the
trade
cool
route for
club.
the cities of the Border Princes along its shores, and a
you
critical
realize the
location
king who
for
came
powers that
and
wish
the
to
name of the
control
author's
the
name is
southern
Sharks?
trade routes of the old world.
It's funny.
It is a treacherous sea known for its formidable navigational challenges.
So you have the sequel
The deadly
to
currents
events
and vicious
that
tides beneath
that
its dark
advanced
waters
book.
make
Yes, he
passage
does.
perilous. While vessels of other races
I'm sure he
can
has the whole
indeed
trilogy,
traverse these
too.
I
waters,
bet he do.
it requires exceptional seamanship to
The third
avoid
book is called The
disaster.
Laments of Pork.
In
The
contrast,
Laments of
the dwarfs sail these straits with
It's a
remarkable
heart-wrenching
consistency,
tale.
thanks to their
It is.
iron-hulled ships and steam-driven paddles, which
Oh,
are
look,
largely
dwarf ships.
resistant to the sea's destructive
Hell yeah.
forces. Stories of ghost ships, sea monsters, and ancient
Oh, sea
curses are
monsters,
common
alright.
among
Stop
sailors
looking in the mirror.
and port towns along its coast.
Oh, damn, homie, you alright?
Skaven Blight is the
Oh,
foul and corrupted capital of the Skaven
but not
race.
really.
It lies in the blighted marshes near
I played
Maragliano.
Porky. He did it.
It is the largest and most
I don't know what he
densely
did, but he
populated
did it.
city in the world. It is a sprawling metropolis of endless caverns teeming with rat-men. A multi-layered undercity of twisting corridors and nightmarish
Yeah,
squalor. on
I'm
an
not answering this
unimaginable
call.
scale.
I am
No.
not going in.
No.
It's 95
The
degrees
subterranean
inside the
city
store
is a
right now.
source of
No, thank
constant
you.
threat
That
to the Border
noise.
Princes.
Exactly.
As
That means I
Skaven
gotta put on,
warlords
like,
frequently
pants
dispatch
and get out of
armies and
AC.
agents to infiltrate,
What sort of crazy person
undermine,
would do that?
and lay waste to the human settlements
speaking
nearby.
of, I gotta show you this story.
The very presence of
boy. I
Skaven
don't know
if you
Blight
saw this
casts a
earlier
shadow
in
of
chat. I
paranoia
think
and
Porky
danger
had
over the
posted of all
nearby
people, but it was
lands,
funny.
where local rulers must
Let's see.
remain ever vigilant against the threat of Skaven
Actually, there's two of
sabotage and
them. They go
invasion,
really well together
complicating
too.
the
And I
already
think you'll
tumultuous
just love 'em.
politics and
Alrighty.
survival struggles of the
The
region.
first one. First is a meme. You know, as memes go. So I'll give you the meme. And then what
Also
happened
known
today.
as Gate
So
to the
here's the
Sea.
meme.
Barakvar is a dwarf seaport, unique in that it provides the only major sea access for the dwarfs of the World's Edge Mountains.
Let's see.
Its strategic location makes it a vital trade hub, not just for dwarfs, but also for the human populations of the Border Princes.
Yeah, I haven't seen that meme all over Twitter today.
Yep, because you probably saw that this
from naval
was
attack.
Oh, the article,
Yep.
It's gonna be 26 Celsius, which
Yep.
is
The
70 fucking degrees.
Exquisite
Yep, it's
for
gonna
the
be
goods
Oh,
of many
dude,
lands
Jeff and I
pass
had a
through them regularly.
long ass conversation
I
about
guess
that.
one can find rare items of interest in the
They're too
shadowed
used to
corners
the,
that
you know,
would never
clouds
elsewhere see the
and
light of day.
rain constantly. They're not used to real weather.
The Blood River earned its name as a result of many battles fought along its banks. It is a significant geographical feature that many warlords and princes have
Thank
sought
you,
to
Porky,
control
for getting that from
due
you
to its
to Joe
strategic
Weeb.
importance for trade and defense.
You saw the article before, but at least didn't see the meme yet.
Blackfire Pass is a crucial geographic and strategic choke point,
Blackfire
located
Pass.
primarily in the Empire, but with critical implications for the Border Princes, due to its positioning on the eastern approaches. This narrow pass through the Black Mountains serves as one of the primary routes for trade and military movements between the Empire and the lands to the east, including the Border Princes.
Men of Astalia, or the Empire, will confidently assure you that there are no cities in the region, and that even the grandest of the so-called princes are merely upstart brigands.
Got him.
Got him.
Those whose notion of a city is formed by knowledge of Magritta or Altdorf are justified in saying that no such place exists in the Border Princes. But there are walled towns in the region, much greater in size than Argygil, which the people, who know no better, think of as great cities. Such
What
places
clowns.
are sometimes
That's
little
right,
more
they
than
are.
huge fortresses, to which the entire
Border Princes,
population
more like
of a
border
region
paupers.
might retire
Oh,
into
oh, shots
Poor
fired.
Each one
Got 'em.
has its own
Fucking
prince,
pores.
and each one has its own
Please
tiny
accept my trade
empire.
agreement. I mean, pores.
For even such small
I don't need that
cities
extra
as
money.
these
Pores.
must rely
Pores.
on the produce
Please help me.
of a legion of
Pores.
farmers.
As we've seen, the Border Princes is a realm where allegiances
I don't know
are
how
as
anyone
unstable
from
as the
Araby is
ground
going to talk
during
when
an
they're
earthquake.
literally insignificant and don't have an
If you're
army.
I
intrigued
don't
by
know.
the power struggles and dynamic interactions we've witnessed today, you'll probably want to watch our recent lore overview of Carrick
overview.
8 Peaks, a zone fiercely contested by 3 of the most stubborn and savage factions. The Dwarfs, Skaven, and Greenskins each claimed stronghold as their own,
Facts.
leading to a relentless and bloody battle
We have seen that.
for
That's
supremacy
real
in
cool.
its dark and echoing halls.
Moving on. More meme videos. Aldrich
Memes?
Chronicles. Yep.
How are you calling mother, you little rascals? I'm blessed, but let's not dig up any more of Brother Silas's garden, though, okay?
Okay, Sister Tanya.
Sister Elizabeth won't be walking here anymore. Sister Gwyneth will be putting you in the rest of an
I'm not terrified.
So be good. What are you doing?
That is
child?
fine by me.
Good luck kiss before the ball. Have fun, Mama.
Sleep well, Lazarus.
Oh, maybe because she was a being for an Eldritch abomination. Anyway.
Don't question it. Just accept giant woman.
Oh, here we go.
Why
Prank
the lights
time.
go out this time? You're home alone, right?
Yeah, just you and me. Nothing to worry about.
Oh, wait.
Huh? Jane, I see something. I see someone that was.
Up.
Rip.
You just got pranked, idiot.
Idiot.
You're so weak. Oh, that was good, yeah? Yes. Oh. Oh.
Up.
Yeah.
It's me, your big
Up.
sis. I was
Wow.
gone for 2 years and you already forgot about me, Jane. Sorry I didn't tell you before coming back.
Wow.
Rip.
Oh, they both passed out.
There is an unwritten rule
What in the
enshrined
fuck
in the
is
YouTube
this?
landscape.
Here we
You
go.
must unconditionally
Warlords
love
Valkyrie 3
India
review.
because no
Losing
matter
it.
how powerful or self-important you feel as a
Pyrocynical.
YouTuber, you bow to
Fucking
the same
hell.
tech center in New
New
Delhi,
Delhi.
and you live by their mercy because with a single click, Rakesh and Pajit can evaporate your entire existence. My channel is firmly aligned with Lord Ganesha
Lord
and the
Ganesha.
Indian people, for your tech support is now
There it
your
is.
tech master.
Tech
hey,
master.
people, Seth here. Warlords
The
Battle
alien
Cry
flag.
Free is a 20-year-old
Jesus Christ.
fantasy RTS that I've been psyoped into playing. Appropriately, we'll be playing this on my laptop, which
my
may
laptop.
be described
Oh,
as a
shit.
haphazard collection of live wires that'll shock you if you ever touch the top of it. But personally, I like to call it rustic. Many years ago,
Rustic.
it stopped working until I dug up the instruction manual and ripped
Easy
out
note.
the thermal sensor. This is incredibly safe. Don't
Incredibly
let the
safe.
warped Avril Lavigne and Eminem stickers tell you otherwise. It can no longer support a battery, and I
It can no longer
jury-rigged
support a
a
battery.
new power switch because I broke the old one. But hey, it's got excellent airflow, and the
It works, it
exposed left
works.
speaker is a fun and entertaining fidget toy for all to
Fidget
enjoy.
toy.
Just as long as you don't
Fucking hell.
move it, touch it, and whatever
Touch
you do,
it.
don't put it on your lap, because that's how you get burns. It's a piece of shit that
Fuck,
served
dude.
me well. You know what else has served
me
me
well?
well? My sponsor, who
Here we
keeps
go.
rewriting all of my lines.
ExpressVPN.
Hey gang, tell me something. Do you like being spied on, being watched, having every single move you make cataloged and sold off to the highest bidder? Sound familiar? It should, because if you're located in the land of the free,
fuck?
home of the prophets, that's right, the US of A, that's exactly what your ISP is doing right now. It's true, your star-spangled corporate overlords are actually allowed to store logs of every website you visit, and it is their legal right to sell your data to anyone. That's why I use ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN reroutes your internet connection through their secure encrypted servers, so your internet provider, Uncle Sam, or your own local elected officials can't see or
Mary
log what you
fucking
do
that
online.
dog.
Now, I know what you're thinking. No,
What about
not
a
that.
goat?
A new problem. What's stopping the VPN from logging your data instead? I'll tell you, integrity. Many VPNs claim to have a no logs policy, but then get caught logging their customers' data. ExpressVPN is the only VPN I can trust because they use trusted server technology. In fact, they were the first major VPN to have servers that run entirely off RAM, making it impossible for them to log your data. But why take my word for it? ExpressVPN is so confident in their no logs claim, they even had one of the world's biggest assurance firms, PricewaterhouseCoopers, audit their privacy policy and server technology. Now that's what I call integrity. Stop those pesky loggers in their tracks and download ExpressVPN today and visit expressvpn.com/Seth to find out how
the
you can get
intimacy of
free
the
months for
government
free.
agent
Also,
watching you.
turns out everything
They
I did
probably
before
like you.
was completely
probably
unnecessary
turn them
because this
insane.
game works on Windows 10. The early
Just saying.
2000s gave us a
Maybe
lot of
it's okay
RTS
to have
games,
them
and a
leak
lot
your
of them played
information
exactly the same.
so they can go
Mechanics were
insane.
so standard that
I mean,
no
maybe
one
that's your
deviated
jam,
from
like-
the orthodoxy.
maybe.
It was only
Imagine
later
if
that the
they had
genre
Porky's
its
search
theological
history.
schism,
That's
resulting
right.
in squad-based
I feel
RTSs
bad for that
and eventually
FBI agent.
culminating in what's known as the League of Legends.
Why is there
heresy
7
that plagues
pages
us
of
to this
Miss
very
Piggy's
day.
feet?
Warlords Battle Cry
That's
Free
right.
is
Why
no
is-
different. It's Age of
He already had the
Empires,
first
except the
result on
Turks
the
have a
first page.
much more
Why did he go
accurate
80
depiction.
pages
You collect
deep?
resources, build buildings, produce troops, and crush your enemy. There's nothing entirely unique here, except your hero, of which there are 28 different classes
Wow.
and
Oh,
17
hell yeah.
different races. Anything this game lacks in originality, it makes up for with a sheer volume of content. And a main way to experience this is through the campaign, which is largely a multi-choice sandbox where you travel across the land looking for an excuse to kill someone.
Oh,
Story.
the bot
You
reset
play
itself.
as a cosmic ICE agent, receiving a report that Gorgon,
God.
fifth horseman of the apocalypse, has illegally crossed the Etherian border with intent to cut grass for $7 an hour
Trump.
as an undocumented illegal. We can't let this go on, so we ask the dark dwarves, that's not racist, they're
That's not
dwarves of
racist.
color, to cast earthquake on his illegal encampment and seal them inside for all eternity.
There's absolutely no consequence to ignoring the story, and even if you finish it, you get a pop-up saying, Gorgon has been sealed, now go explore. There's no conclusion, no final battle, and you don't even get to see him. This is the literary equivalent of a toddler starting a sentence, forgetting where he was, and going to sleep. And just as well, because story is not the focus. By far, the best part of this game is the community, which is extremely passionate, to say the least. You'll have people in comments saying things like, Death Knight is the best, and immediately someone will come out of the woodwork, proclaim that their Fey assassin is going to one-tap them, and question the fidelity of their parents' marriage. Which brings us to the focus of my hyperfixation, finding, objectively, the best build in a game that's popular with a 10 or so Polish men that still play. In the process, I'll talk about each race.
What do you say, Gav?
The Celentine Empire is a race that answers the question of, what do we have with whatever you want? Because apparently, the only barrier between recruiting demons and vampires to join your ranks is socioeconomic. They can pay for random mercenaries that give a taste of every race, their tech tree is sensible, and they have access to spell research, which, if you stall the mission, unlocks every spell in the game. Alchemist specializes in alchemy, which is the original reason I got into this game, because the very first spell you get, cast at a high enough level, creates max level items out of thin air. This includes set items that are unique to the campaign. This leads to a situation where you spawn in, drink your mana pots, print everything you want, and resign the mission. Everything in your hero's backpack is saved, which can be sold in the market for infinite money to spend on infinite supplies and reinforcements. And then we go from ridiculous to game-breaking by casting Spellforge, which doubles the effect of all your items, turning your alchemist into the strongest unit in the game. Shenanigans include, but are not limited to, having armor so high you can't take damage, doubling your mana regeneration to fill up in seconds, to abusing double rings of resurrection for a 40% chance to revive your entire army each time you take a swing.
I have the body of a god!
Barbarians are a fine race. You can set them on fire to go berserk. They're cheap, spammable, and effective against larger units. Regardless of class, all heroes are melee. The only exception is an ice mage, who can give himself ranged attacks by casting Ice Flow. This represents my first failed experiment because the investment is massive and the payoff is garbage. Everything ice magic does, pyromancy does better. And who better for it than a demon?
Blood heals me, death delights me, pain purifies me.
Demons are resource hungry and have some of the most obnoxious hitboxes for their buildings. But if you survive to late game, you automatically win because you're the only race that doesn't pay for troops. More importantly, demon heroes snack on souls, which are formed by enemies after being killed by a succubus. This is the quickest way to get mana, and with the right items, I can summon my own army of them and use them as a self-sustaining mana battery. Combine that with pyromancy, and every free souls you chow down is another Armageddon inside your enemy's base. It's my sincere opinion that the funnest build in this game is a necromancer, but since we already get necromancy as an undead racial, we play a sage for reasons that I shall explain.
Undead sage?
That's right.
Oh boy.
Undead are one of the most unique races in this game because they don't make their own troops. Instead, you have skeletons, which can be morphed at any time into a higher tier unit along different upgrade paths. One of these is the Wraith, which may be the earliest example of ASMR. Wraiths are the only unit in the game that directly steal XP from units they kill, which includes heroes and even your own troops. So we summon skeletons, which with a memory skill spawn with extra XP, sacrifice them to our Wraith, and grind it to level 20. 2 max level Wraiths are usually enough to solo the entire campaign. But why stop there? Using divination magic, we can cast Mind Leech, which gives affected melee troops the exact same ability as the Wraith. Zombies have access to Feast of Gorge, an ability that converts dead bodies into resources. As wiki users pointed out, unit abilities scale with level. So we summon a horde of skeletons, Mind Leech our zombie, and grind him to level 20. If we summon thralls from a cage, delete them with Ctrl D and feast their bodies, he prints out more resources than we originally put in. By having an infinite money printer and infinite power scaling, we're no longer playing the same game. Victory is no longer the objective, but rather a natural consequence of leaving my max level Doom Knight unattended.
I am invincible!
You are
Fae are whimsical creatures of the forest, and a growing problem because of their built-in victory timer. That's because lore is the most busted research in the game. They're also a cognito hazard.
Top of the morning to you.
In a sense that the longer you hear them, the longer you can't unhear them. At some point, you'll be producing troops so fast, they'll be spamming their voice lines in unison.
Oh, God.
What the fuck? Oh, God.
This is when most players are driven insane. Imagine a hero that can outrun and insta-kill any unit in the game. Now imagine they also have access to illusion magic and can make themselves invisible. There's many builds out there, and assassins counter all of them.
Breathe deeply.
Plague Lords are the servants of King Ass Ripper, a direct manifestation of anything that lives or survives the Indian sewage system. They have a contamination mechanic that accelerates disease. Unfortunately, the condition is only useful for punishing retreats and doesn't really help you during a fight. That doesn't mean you can't make them work. A ranger can stack points into taming, which adds XP to every unit considered a monster. For Plague Lords, this definition applies to almost everything, which is never relevant because you'll win the game by spamming slimes. After each mission, you get a selection of your most veteran troops that you can add to your retinue. Since this will always be slimes, I find it incredibly funny because, along with their veterancy, they get a name. It's no longer just a slime. It's Frederick. Also, I never checked which voice lines I gave my ranger, which is apparently
Lock up your children.
Discord moderator.
What the fuck?
The Seraphi are lizard men with dinosaurs. These are the old depictions before people realized that God just made oversized chickens. A defiler can poison everyone and then cast rot for it to take maximum effect. This translates to an instantaneous loss of 90% of the enemy's HP and a guaranteed win for every fight, unless they're fighting orcs who are completely immune.
Scream louder!
Orcs are a melee race possessing the goofiest siege weapon in the game, the Gob Shooter. The Gob Shooter shoots goblins, which often die from the impact, but occasionally survive as intact goblins. They're not even remotely viable unless you play a merchant. Merchants do absolutely nothing except sit at the back of a base and hope they don't get murdered. The trade-off is that the merchant skill and charisma reduce the cost of everything. You can play almost any race of merchant. I just have so many spellcasters to cover that I needed a place to put this.
I love the smell of entrails in the morning.
Dwarves are the ideal race for turtling. Their engineers count as 2 workers each time they occupy a mine, and they have a rush mechanic that revolves around excess drinking. Do you like gambling? Do you like griefing yourself? Because playing a shaman is the ultimate gamble core experience. Remember, 99% quit before they win big. And the higher your skill in chaos magic, the higher the roll in both directions. So you either double your stats or reduce your army's HP to 1 and rage quit the game. There is no in between. Either I win or I kill myself. However, you can't go lower than 1, so if you morph the speed of dwarf berserkers or siege equipment, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. The most important feature of playing dwarves is that they have the best towers in the game and benefit twice as much from garrison troops. And now, thanks to the power of RNG, they've become automatic machine guns that cut down entire armies. It's not the quickest strategy, but it's the only one that turns this game into a tower defense.
Burn the forests, strip the land.
Alternatively, you can do pretty much the same with Dark Dwarves. They're more siege-focused than their counterparts and replace their armies with golems. Because their basic builder can instantly repair for free, your towers are practically invincible. And in the event they do actually go down, you occupy them with suicide bombers that kill whoever's responsible. A Rune Master lets you build quicker, and absolutely nothing else. Rune magic might actually be worse than ice.
Nobody expects the Etherean Inquisition.
Knights are a cavalry-centric race that's very beginner-friendly. Night Lords are goofy because they give you global morale, which makes every unit attack faster and increases your population cap. I didn't know that last part, which is actually very important for summoners. Buildings are your main source of pop cap, but in some missions, you can't build. So it's worth having a few points in leadership, because otherwise, you might not be able to summon anything. After teching up to level 5, every race can produce their Titan. These are incredibly powerful units that can't be replaced. And the only thing comparable to their power is another Titan. After sinking 30 levels into healing magic, a healer can cast Resurrection at level 3. Normally, this revives your dead units. At level 3, this revives everything, including the enemy and their Titan, under your direct control.
Wow.
Elves are collectively a gimmick race designed to filter new players. And there's a very simple reason. Their builders can't occupy minds. Dark Elves at least have a solution to this problem, and it's called slavery. They're the most magically proficient race with a broad range of spellcasters. Assassins can one-tap enemies, blackguards can do sneak attacks, and their heroes have some of the most photogenic portraits. Dark Elf baddie with blood running down her eyes will captivate the undisciplined gamer. Men enjoy the goth girl aesthetic because it represents a woman that's externally consistent with her inner state. That is to say, evil. Druids get a lot of summons. Treants are good tanks and faster builders, while unicorns compensate for the race's complete lack of healing. Nature magic isn't insanely powerful, but it's a good mix of everything.
Let lesser races beware.
Endowed with long life and extreme prejudice, which they describe as pattern recognition, high elves are the canonical quirked-up white boys of Etheria. There's something very poetic about high elves refusing lower-class labor, preferring that I summon hordes of demons to occupy their minds instead. A summoner is not only the perfect complement to elves, it's the only one that's viable, because we need to gate in a lot of demons to give them time to execute their strategy. All elves produce wisps, which are their basic builder. 4 of these can merge together to form an ancient wisp, which generates crystal each second. The whole point of this race is the endless feedback loop of infinite crystal economy, which only accelerates the longer the game goes. Then you make a bunch of archers and steamroll everything, because a fully upgraded high elf army has almost no answer to it.
I've been a bad girl.
Wood elves are practically the same race, but worse. They have the same problems, but bulkier buildings. Their only saving grace is the Dryad, which is the source of all the horny quotes in the game.
Oh no. Yes.
Not the Dryads.
That again.
But what if I told you, after theory crafting all of these numerous, diverse, and interesting builds, I've been bell curved, because the lowest IQ knuckle dragger will reach the same conclusion as the upper percentile. Just play a warrior. Everything a mage can do, a warrior does better. It's in the name of the title. It's called Warlord's Battlecry Free, not neurodivergent caster that needs 30 levels to get good. Who cares about your exploits when the average warrior will just click a corner of a map and solo the entire mission? His only weakness, poetic, about how same problems, gold per unit, and can just any caster that has 2 harps to give us percent of our H play swarm because their race have access needs 30 levels to get good. Who cares about your exploits when this race is the endless feedback loop of infinite crystal economy, which only accelerates the longer the game goes. Then you make a bunch of archers and steamroll everything, because a fully upgraded high elf army has almost no answer to it.
Sorry, I had to come on a phone call real quick.
Wood elves are practically the same race, but worse. They have the same problems, but bulkier buildings. Their only saving grace is the Dryad, which is the source of all the horny quotes in the game.
Oh, yes. Do that again.
But what if I told you, after theory crafting all of these numerous, diverse, and interesting builds, I've been bell curved, because the lowest IQ knuckle dragger will reach the same conclusion as the upper percentile. Just play a warrior. Everything a mage can do, a warrior does better. It's in the name of the title. It's called Warlord's Battlecry Free, not neurodivergent caster that needs 30 levels to get good. Who cares about your exploits when the average warrior will just click a corner of a map and solo the entire mission? His only weakness is running out of health potions, which is why you play a Minotaur. Minotaurs have some of the fewest but most upgradable units in the game. But most importantly, they have sheep. Sheep cost 1 gold per unit and can be snacked on by Minotaurs to restore their health. So we flood the map with a portable health supply for your one-man army. If you're playing this correctly, you should be able to see absolutely nothing. However, after everything I've been through, I refused to accept this answer. There had to be something better. There must. And I think I found it. Coincidentally, Swarm is the first race I ever played because I thought the name sounded cool. And what did I get?
No.
Ants. But regardless, we play Swarm because their race have access to Constitution, which adds 10 HP per level. Class doesn't matter, just any caster that has access to arcane magic. And now we create the most hyper-specific build possible, 10 points in arcane, and dump the rest into Constitution. You need exactly 31 points of intelligence, which gives you 113 mana. The rest goes to dexterity because we are pathetically weak and need to outrun the enemy. We require the following items: 2 Fey Harps, a Wizard's Banner, banner, a staff of a master, a robe of the archmage, and most importantly, a paladin's helm. First, we cast Mana Flow, which stacks with the 2 harps to give us 45% reduced spell cost. Then you cast Empower, which increases spell strength by 50%, and Command, which stacks with a wizard's banner to increase our area of effect. Destruction is the last spell of the arcane spellbook that deals the spellcaster's current HP -1 to everything on screen, including the caster. But because we empowered it, we deal 150% of our HP, which kills us in the process, unless you're under the effect of Life Ward, a healing spell that saves the caster from death. People found out about this, multiplayer was instantly broken, and it was patched out of the game, because healer no longer has access to arcane, that is, unless you're wearing a paladin's helm, which has an on-hit chance of casting Life Ward. So we start the game, build a wall, get our hero to attack the wall, and charge his paladin's helm. Then we walk up to the enemy, cast Destruction, and walk back with full HP. At level 48 with 610 HP, you can one-shot the strongest titan in the game. But is it worth it?
What the fuck?
No, I did all this so I can cast one spell, one time, and then have to wait like 10 minutes before I can do it again. I've rationalized myself into a corner, and I'm back to the middle of a bell curve. What have we learned today? Overthinking a 2004 RTS is the peak of being a midwit. Increases your risk of writing video essays and accelerates your Alzheimer's by expanding the Swiss cheese in your brain. In high school, we used to choke each other out during art class to get high. This went on for a while until the teacher caught us. I guess what I'm trying to say with this Warlord's Battle Cry Free is great, mindless fun. And I say this objectively because I have no prior nostalgia. There's clearly a lot of love and passion put into the making of this game. There's little details that still surprise me, like how you can load cows.
You don't go after fucking Wendy.
Which give this game a lot of charm.
You leave our Boogaloo cryptid boy alone.
Is beautiful, and the campaign is very replayable. Unfortunately, sometimes the game does crash. This often happens when crossing regions. You get a random encounter, and it fails to build the random map. If this happens, play a skirmish or move backwards on the map, and this will usually fix it. I thoroughly recommend that you don't buy it on Steam. GOG uses official patch 1.0 free, while Steam uses the unofficial patch, which made a very unpopular change. All summoned units come with a timer, and when this expires, they die. This completely destroys a lot of builds, so for the sake of your enjoyment, get a copy from GOG. Use offer code ChastityCage for 45% off. There should be a sale, and if there isn't, I'll personally send you a free download link. Your graphics card may run a little hotter than usual, but I assure you, my Ethereum miner will take no more than 10%. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
Shin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli.
I love that fucking meme.
That's beautiful. I loved it too.
I send that shit out all the fucking time. Just like oh,
it skipped it. 1 second. I'll fix it. Go back. We'll go back. Don't worry. We'll watch Dragon Tamer after that. But here we go. This first. Whoa! The fuck was that?
You had to go through all of that?
Oh, that's my keyboard.
God,
oh shit!
That's horrible. Athena's such an asshole.
I know, right? Anyway, I think this is the part we fight each other.
It's my wireless keyboard from my other computer, and it slammed
Oh
on the floor.
no! Rip keyboard.
Rip the computer. This is the one I'm streaming off of. Actually, not really streaming, but logged into the stream into.
It is, yeah.
That's fine. It's fine. I didn't fuck it up. Okay.
Yet.
Not yet. Give me time. Maybe one day.
Woohoo! Nothing better than a day at the beach.
Well, there they go.
Kids, you forgot to put on sunscreen.
Nice.
Looks like I'm joining in the fun too, honey.
All right, dear. I should have asked him to put some lotion on my back.
Hey, ma'am.
Oh no.
Looking awfully lovely. Mind if we help a bit?
Huh?
Oh.
Kids, crush their skulls.
Got him.
Oh
shit.
You go, honey.
Yeah. Family beatdown.
That's
Nothing
right.
builds bonds better.
That's right. Here we go. Space Station 13.
You are the Revenant.
Yes. Right, there we go. This time I got it. And now I'm gonna do this right. We're just gonna see this meme. It's gonna be in here first. Place he likes to go post memes in. And then it's gonna be right in his face. It's actually even higher quality meme because they did it this way. Neurodivergent.
Look at that.
Podcaster with self-diagnosed autism.
The Porky Chronicles.
That's right. Close that now. Close that too. Let's get back to the Revenant. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, Gene, why are we watching this? Usually we watch Space Station to the things in the end. There's gonna be a surprise at the end. Just wait. Weeb doesn't even know. But he's gonna, and it's gonna change things forever. Well, not really forever, but we're just into something different. And I decided on it today. Damn, I exist. That's right, Dakota.
Damn, I exist. Yeah, I feel that. Revolution Botany.
I don't care, Ghost. That guy looks like an edgelord.
He is an edgelord.
Boom.
Fucking Ghost Man.
Boom.
Causing a ruckus.
Just like the beat, okay? Leave me alone.
He is just stealing that man's whole soul.
Right,
from the copper down.
It's the only way you can take a soul.
Hear about the new episode of that Star Wars show?
Oh, Acolyte or whatever?
Oh god, yeah, I heard it was...
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Ooh, I heard it was Maya.
I've seen a stupid idiot in a fucking awful mask say it's the end of Star Wars. I'm like, Star Wars has been gone, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Star Wars has been dead for like 10 years now, bro.
Yeah.
What are you on about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? This is the end of Star Wars. What do you mean the end? It's already been dead. It's a writhing corpse puppeted around on strings. There you go. Now Porky got it. They'll make that.
Yeah, it's time for the big EP. He's just siphoning everything. Again.
That's right, he is. Siphon them all. Malfunction? Uh-oh. Can move again. Thank God. You know, I was worried that we couldn't move again. But now we can move again. Oh.
Oh well, that looks fucked.
I think it is.
Still, room of burning dudes.
I think it may be fucked. Just a theory, just an idea. I think it might be fucked.
I think it's a theory, a game theory.
Oh, oh, I gotta post that to you now. Let me find that.
Oh, no, come on, man, come on. No, I didn't mean it.
Oh, yep. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's just a theory. There he is. In a movie.
Why do you hurt me so?
I'm sorry. I didn't do it. Reality did.
You sure did do it. You'll do it again.
I mean, I would do it again. Holy shit, what is going on? Really? Damn. Can't move. You can grab me like that, huh? That's right.
Ah, he's shooting at the ghost man.
There he is.
Man, it's just murdering everyone in that room.
Holy shit.
That is a lot of gore.
It is. How many more people are gonna get possessed? Person's on
All
fire.
of them. Deathly fired.
Can't move again. Oh. Oh, go. Damn, son.
That's bullying.
It is. Spooky music.
If you hide in the walls, they can't hurt you.
That's right.
The emergency shuttle has been called.
Yeah.
Yes, bring him to the back office. No one will look there.
That's right, they won't.
Oh shit, our rival Rev.
Shit. Revolution has won.
Woo! couldn't tell you what exactly happened in this video, but woo!
That's right. Alrighty. 2 more videos, and then we're actually 2 short videos and 1 long video, and then we're done. Oh shit, a pawn.
Damn.
Advance to the enemy's last line of defense, Your Majesty.
It's a woman.
Very good. Now I will promote you.
Promote? I hope I can be a knight.
No, you become a queen when you get to the other. Yeah, there you go.
No. You will be my wife.
There you go. Beautiful. Best.
Hell yeah.
Best piece in the game too.
That's right.
Super combo.
Wow. Gaming legend.
Yeah.
That's right.
Beat their ass.
Beat their ass.
This dude
I'm mad I beat your high score, Gene.
Hey, you're mad I beat you in real life.
Wow, that was a tough one.
Yeah, but that doesn't. That's not recorded for.
Oh shit.
Oh
But it was
shit.
fun. I get your gamer tag.
If you're free tonight, I want to run some more sets.
Wow. All right.
Get dunked on, dorks.
All right, we've seen. Oh, I don't know why I just skipped the video, but we've seen this video before.
Hey, people.
I just want to say, guess what? I've decided on something. You always want to play games with me, right?
Yes.
Where we're gonna play a game together called Endless Space 2.
I love Endless Space 2.
Hell yeah! And guess what? We're gonna co-op and try to fucking win the campaign.
Oh, dude, let's go.
That's right.
I'm down.
That's right. So that's what we're gonna be doing from now on. On certain, no, I shouldn't say now on. Every other. Every other Wednesday, besides the Wednesdays we do. I mean, I'm trying to say like we're gonna be doing it on and off from streaming other stuff. So we're actually gonna be playing a campaign. That's what I was trying to say out of my mouth. And the bigger thing.
You got it out in the end.
The bigger thing we're gonna also try to do is I'm gonna call it Endless Sib 2 because we're both gonna try to get positive relations with the fucking Lumerian chick.
Hell yeah.
Frog mommy.
Based B.
That's right. Here we go.
Seth here.
Let's watch the video.
Humanity. One day we will inevitably reach
I don't know
the
who I'm gonna
stars,
play
and
as yet.
one
I haven't
day
decided
we
who
will
I'm gonna
inherit
inevitably
the Empire
reach
will
other
inherit the
intelligent,
stars.
I was
sentient,
imagining you
yet
wanted to play the
utterly
Empire.
alien
That's fine
races
if you want to
will
play the
shake
Empire.
their
I don't
many
know who I have to be
appendages,
yet, though.
engage in trade, exchange ideas, and even
Oh, shit.
attempt
Yes.
diplomacy. But we all know, inevitably, how this has to end.
And we're eventually gonna get one of these too. Someone's gonna hit the academy because fuck that dude.
That's right.
Welcome to
I'm
Endless
gonna
Space
go out of
2.
my way
Endless
to body
Space
her
2 is a
ratio
4X
into the
game,
dirt.
which, if you're not familiar with, stands for the 4 X's: expand, explore, and exterminate all xenomorphs before they do the same to you. Probably, most likely. I've played this turn-based sci-fi strategy intensely for the better part of a month, and before that, about 2 years. And I must confess, it's pretty damn good. Also, there is a story, and it is absolutely critical you understand the lore of this game. In the current job market, Endless Space historians are in extremely high demand.
The funniest thing that dates about this joke is there are now actually like Destiny fucking lore historian things that they pay money for. That's not. I'm not even kidding. That's a real thing.
And both starting salaries of about $300K. Most of the Fortune 500 companies hire at least 2 of them in order to understand what the fuck is going on. The story is told to you through wiki articles, the accuracy of which is questionable because I've edited several articles and they still haven't caught me. In the universe of Endless Space 1 and 2, there is or was an incredibly advanced civilization called the Endless. What happened to the Endless? Well, there's less of them. The end. Roll credits. But no, they went to space and they developed technology. They revolutionized the galaxy by creating dust. Dust is used as money in Endless Space 2,
but
which it isn't. It's an autonomous cloud computing network of nanomachines that get smarter as the cloud gets bigger. They're capable of self-assembly, self-autonomy, and farming crypto tokens at rates never before seen in the known galaxy. However, they developed a little too hard when they figured out how to upload your soul. So half of them went on to live as immortal volatile machines running on the 5G network. These were known as the virtual endless. The other half, known as the concrete endless, considered them an abomination because it's hard to consider a sentient laptop as intelligent life. Even harder when you find out it's still running Windows Vista. Unable to reconcile their differences, the endless decided to end each other. The virtuals unleashed bioweapons on the concrete. The concrete sent malware to their mailbox, forcing them to run 3 billion instances of Bonzi Buddy. Needless to say, they wiped each other out. The endless came to an end, but many centuries later, other races figured out space travel, picking apart the ashes and remains of a civilization long forgotten. In the galaxy of the endless is where our story takes place. So, what do you do in Endless Space 2? Well, you pick a spacefaring civilization and you try to win. But
here's the thing, I've actually played through a full campaign of this game before. Do you want to know who I was when I played it and tried to win and got close? I was the Umbral Choir. I was the fucking hacking shadow.
Oh, God.
You want to know who ended up beating me?
Who?
The fucking Brits. The British toads. Yep, they ended up beating
What
me.
is victory?
'Cause I got a
Victory can
science
be
victory.
anything. Money, technology,
you go fight
intergalactic
in it.
conquest, or even weaponizing the influence of e-girl streamers to absorb every sentient race in the galaxy. Because, as we already know, a sentient brain is still capable of falling victim to becoming a simp. The path to victory is your own free choice. The game itself is very customizable, meaning there's no reason to pick any speed.
Speaking of, guess what? Just a few months ago, they actually fixed the fucking... They put the Reawakening patch in. That makes it so fucking Isendir doesn't demand reparations from you constantly and be so aggressive.
Oh, that's nice. That's very much appreciated.
You can also set it beforehand that he doesn't try to take fucking territory from the players too. You can turn that shit off. It took them 3
any
years
galaxy
to
besides
fix
Ovoid.
that.
And if anyone dares pick a custom race, we are all going to collectively form a non-aggression pact and hunt you down. Starting off, you only have a single planet. Your home system is very modest, and you need to rapidly scale your operations if you hope to compete with the rest. To do so, you'll need to explore, expand, and colonize new systems. Exploration is very simple. You send an exploration vessel into the great unknown and watch as it dies to pirates. Before that happens, you'll want to find as many uncolonized systems as possible. On each planet, there's a chance of finding curiosities. These are the slow, pulsing rings you see on display. To explore a curiosity, you need to send a probe. It's quite similar to the probe minigame from Mass Effect 2. If successful, the game will let you know, together with a small reward for finding it before anyone else. These can be anything from strategic or luxury resources, planetary anomalies, or even the start of a random quest line. The point of curiosities is to try and guess which star systems are worth colonizing. In general, any system less than 3 planets is garbage. Any system with only cold planets is garbage. In fact, ask enough players and you'll find that every possible star system ever formed by the laws of physics is still garbage. Colonize them anyway, because I like the animation that plays each time you do so. There's actually an animation for every type of planet, which I didn't know, because who the fuck colonizes a gas giant as their first choice of planet? It's like, where are we dropping, boys? Oh yeah, on the burning gas giant. How are we meant to walk on a gas giant? Very carefully. Anyway, I'm losing track. You choose a star system, and you pick a more reasonable type of planet to be the base of your colony. Most factions can't settle a system immediately. They need to form an outpost, send colony support, and convince any other players contesting the system to cease their aggressive expansionism. You can do this through liberal policies, such as stealing their food supplies, or less liberal policies, also known as an interplanetary blockade, with the sole purpose of starving them to death. Typically, this is how you greet other players. Otherwise, you blast their ships out of orbit, and you get sent a formal complaint, to which you respond accordingly. Diplomacy is an interesting concept.
Oh, there she is. I see.
We
There she
do
is.
have other things to take care of. These are diplomatic channels, not social media. Again? Are you just lonely?
Because unlike many games of a similar nature,
is
diplomacy
that a
is a tangible resource. In fact, everything is a resource. If you want to condense down the Endless Space 2 experience, you're going to be spending hours of your life trying to increase the 5 colors: green, orange, yellow, blue, and purple. Respectively, these are food, industry, dust, science, and influence, or FIDSI for short. These are the combined economic outputs of your systems. At the beginning, you don't have very much. You can't do very much, so you need more. A lot more. You need food to grow population. Population contributes to the economy and gives you different bonuses depending on the race of that population. But a planet's base output is pathetic, so you need to build improvements. To do that, you need industry, more production. But you can't have industry without research, and you can't have research without science. Besides unique variations, every faction follows the same unified tech tree. Supporting larger industry requires dust, a lot of dust. And if you're planning to go to war, exponentially more dust. To even make the formal declaration that you're going to erase someone off the face of the galaxy, you need influence. It is the most precious resource and represents your combined political power. The bigger your influence, the bigger your sphere of influence. This game doesn't work on national borders. It works on raw intergalactic peer pressure. Have enough influence and you'll absorb everyone without even lifting a finger. Besides other players, there are also minor factions.
Did you know Nigerians
Here we
live
go.
in a sector of space
Yes.
occupied by several different humanoid species?
If we say
Maybe they
yes, will you
commit more
feed us?
crime.
One of those species is the Bankarans. They occupy just 10% of Nigerian space, but take up nearly 80% of the space in Nigerian prisons.
Maybe they commit more crimes.
These are civilizations that are advanced, yet not
Thank
advanced
you,
enough
Tom
to
Paris.
avoid assimilation. These are very diverse and can be anything from sentient
Quality
jellyfish,
choice on
reformed
B'Elanna
assassin
Torres
droids
as your
looking
wife.
for
I
God,
would-
or even
I would
moving chunks
ruin-
of coral reef remotely
ruin
piloted by a
B'Elanna
sentient
Torres.
supercomputer the size of a planet, which in itself was formed by
Since
random
7 of
chance.
9?
Minor
Oh,
factions
God, dude.
exist to be absorbed
I don't
by
care if
other
she
players.
praying mantis
Why?
to me
Because
afterward.
you
I
get a
don't-
free
dude,
system out of it
that's
and a unique
fine, I'll
racial
die.
trait. Never underestimate these because a single good trait
Oh,
can win
man.
you the game.
Yes, it
There's
can.
also
Childhood.
pirates.
It's okay. Everybody finds me irresistible.
Pirates exist to occupy every system you ever like and reduce the overall quality of your time in space. Luckily, pirates are business-oriented and will not trouble you as long as you pay. Also, I like putting pirate marks on all of my friends' colonies. Consider it an indirect way of saying maybe you should move. Now you've got the basics down. What are you meant to do? You're meant to try and you're meant to fail. Endless Space 2 gives you freedom. Freedom to fuck up and suffer the consequences. The tech tree is subdivided into 4 distinct categories: military, economy, science, and empire. Develop your military and you get bigger guns, but you don't get the ships to mount them. You need to develop your empire for that. Then you need a military-industrial complex to facilitate the production of your armada, which forces you to tech economy, not only for developing your systems, but for supplying a constant stream of dust, because bankruptcy is not an option. For reference, one technology unlock is the difference between abject poverty and having the largest intergalactic trade company
Sweatshop
incorporated on your home system.
right.
Why stop there? Get access to the galactic commodities market as well, because
Speculate the
it's
stocks.
a biological requirement for me to speculate the stock market in every game I play. Do all that and realize you neglected science, which is a problem, because every single research you ever research makes every following research more expensive to research. Endless Space 2 is a great galactic scale balancing act. Every action taken is counterbalanced by the opportunity cost of every action not taken. Here's an example. Let's say you found a nice system, but you can't colonize it because each type of planet requires the respective technology to touch ground on their surface. You might spend a bunch of turns teching towards that. As a result, you get a new system. However, your lack of tech leaves you oblivious to the contents. You later find out that ideal Mediterranean planet you picked is filled with dinosaurs. The water is made of mercury, and the atmosphere gives you cancer. If you pumped everything into science and exploration, you would have found a much better system nearby. Because you explored the curiosities, you know there's plenty of strategic deposits without the risk of melanoma. Even the worst colony has great potential. Given a development plan, systems can compensate for deficiency using luxury. Low birth rate, spike for water with red sand. No production, use Jadonics. Do people still keep using the term war criminal in your presence, despite the fact you've clarified multiple times that enemy civilians are indeed active combatants? Bring out the hallucinogenic grapes. Given time, any problem can be solved. Given money, any problem can be solved instantaneously. I don't know exactly how we're going to terraform a planet in a single turn, but I know the next time I look, there better be a fucking jungle instead. There's a lot of ships in this game, unique to each faction. They're all fully customizable, limited only by the type and number of modules available. Primarily, you're You're going to use them to intimidate your enemies into submission and to intimidate your friends into working a little harder on their friendship. Your only control over combat is the loadout, formation, and tactics used by your military. The rest is a simulation played out by the computer, where each time a ship explodes, you know the cinematic at the end of Diablo 2 where Tyrael throws his sword at the world stone and it explodes into a billion chunks of wood? Yeah, that's exactly how every ship explodes in this game.
Yeah,
Combat
that's
is
what
very
that's
simple.
what I'm looking
There's
for.
different weapons which have different accuracies depending on the range of engagement. Flat cannons shred anything up close, including long-range ballistic missiles, but they bounce off armor. Lasers cut ships in half at mid-range, while beam weaponry works at every range. Unless they have shields, you can absolutely get away with filling every slot with a flat cannon, choosing the default tactics card, and still win every fight. Besides interplanetary combat, you can also directly invade. This works on the same principle, which means I'm still going to use the default tactics card, which just so happens to be preemptive orbital bombardment. Many civilians will die, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Your chance of success depends entirely on whether or not you have replaced your troops with a mobile suit Gundam. If you conquer a system, you can choose to either spare the population or take a massive hit to your public approval rating by re-educating and reintegrating the native population into the fucking soil, which is a good time and segue to talk about politics. In Endless Space 2, you have government, you have Senate, and you have an obligation to represent your people, which is why we have a dictatorship. Power to the masses is power to the upper classes, and any proletariat will see the wisdom of my words. Politics is all-encompassing in Endless Space 2. Any action you take, endorse, or sponsor will shift the political axis of your entire empire. As with real life, the opinions of your people are difficult to manage, their motivations difficult to guess. There's a total of 6 different party ideologies you can choose to support, each two a pair of polar opposites: religious and scientific, militarist and pacifist, ecological and industrial. On top of that, you've got your government. This controls your party representation and how much corruption you can get away with. Democracy has the widest free party representation. It is also the most corrupt because I have no control over my elections. Republics and federations are generally more progressive, offering less representation and more opportunities to correct the result of any rigged election. Dictatorship completely removes the need for underhanded tactics and ensures that all voices are heard and represented by the single party I choose. Every political party holding office has representatives. These are not your average man. These are heroes recruited from the academy. But what is the academy? You know how I said dust is currency and dust is essentially a cloud computing nanite swarm? Now, imagine smoking it, because the Academy does exactly that. You're hiring nanite-augmented crackheads to rule your empire. These are very diverse in both race and specialization. They each have their own unique and interesting backstory, except Scales. Scales is literally a giant bat that likes to eat zucchini. How is she qualified in any way to be my senator? I don't know, but the people love her, and who am I to say no to that smile? So, what's the point of political parties? I'll tell you, it's called legislation, and legislation controls the focus of your empire. You can pass laws respective to each party you have in office. The leading political party also enacts their own automatic policy. Scientists let you research high-tech without unlocking it. Religion gives you the moral high ground to escalate a Cold War without legal consequences. Industrialism uses the economy to finance the economy by expanding the economy. How could ecology possibly compete? Well, by giving the public announcement that we don't exactly know how to live on a volcano, so let's do it anyway. Militarist rhetoric not only removes the political cost of war, it actively encourages you to go to war with absolutely everyone. And finally, the pacifists can, at any time, without your consent, force you into a state of peace. Passing law costs influence, depending on the size of your empire. The longer a party stays in power, the more laws you have to choose from. For example, state-enforced eugenics and mandatory sterilization of other races who aren't your own Zone is a relatively simple law to pass with minimal political experience. Asking everyone to work overtime requires a level of finesse and eloquence only seen in the most Machiavellian of politicians. Unlike many 4X games, Endless Space 2 has quests. Most of these are faction-specific story missions with branching political options to suit your empire. They're quite interesting, they give you something to do, and most of all, they give you permanent upgrades for the rest of the game. You also have multiplayer. How do you play multiplayer? It's quite simple. You all connect to a game, you play for about 50 turns, you forget to make backups of your game, and then everyone collectively desynchronizes. Welcome to Endless Space 2 multiplayer. With all that covered, you've got a general idea of how to play Endless Space 2. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. The factions. There are currently 12 different races to choose. I'm gonna cover them all. The Sophons are a race of intellectuals. Despite this, they talk in a British accent. They're overdeveloped geckos that love science and hate personal health and safety. The less people know a technology, the faster Sophons can obtain it. If you want a fairly vanilla faction with an easy science victory, go play the Sophonity. Conversely,
sorry, Link.
Here we go.
I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little
in the game.
richer.
We have the Lumeris, whose entire ethos, motivation, and philosophy can be crystallized in one word: money. For the Lumeris, no problem is too great, as long as you throw piles of money at it. They also have my favorite faction leader,
Commerce, baby. The lifeblood of this and any other galaxy.
who is probably responsible for every single trade cartel in the known galaxy, and arguably runs more of an economic crime syndicate than a legitimate empire. But I don't care, because Big Titty Fish Mommy is going to buy the galaxy.
And I'm gonna help her.
I'm gonna help her. If you like making obscene amounts of cash, amphibious mommy milkers, or just winning the game by accident, play Lumeris. Imagine rampant over-industrialization and the fractured ecosystem that follows. Given such dire conditions, what do you think is the most reasonable course of action? You can A, put all your resources into ecological initiatives and repair the sorry state of your planet, or B, digitize yourself and become a gaming laptop. The Vodyani chose the second option. Even better, they made a church out of it. Belief is strength, worship is endless, and heretics are nothing but essence for the harvest. Unlike other races, the Vodyani don't colonize. They travel, they land, and then they harvest. Then we have Horatio.
Come to pry on the most stunning man in the galaxy again?
Originally a wealthy trillionaire, Horatio set out to find his own star system. Along the way, he also found extremely advanced cloning technology, so he made 1 billion copies of the most beautiful and gorgeous person to ever exist, which was of course Horatio. And then Horatio thought to himself, what better than to fill the galaxy with beauty? What better than to fill the galaxy with Horatio? Horatio is concerned with pressing matters, such as air conditioning. His government, accordingly, is an eco-fascist dictatorship.
Make Horatio great again.
Of course, there are other, less fortunate races than Horatio, but Horatio is not only handsome, he is also brilliant, and thus he finds ways to integrate minority populations by splicing their genetics with Horatio. Yes, many of your less symmetrical friends and family may simply disappear, but know that their memory will live on inside Horatio. Horatio is a classic case of careful who you call ugly in high school, because he just might use the entire galaxy as a glorified eugenics program. The United Empire can be summarized in a single clip.
There you go. Don't know why. There you go.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
The United Empire is an
And I'm doing my part.
expansionist federation where the will of the emperor is absolute. Any construction, any technology, any luxury he so desires, the empire provides. For the emperor does not ask, he commands, and the raw influence of his voice can make the impossible into reality. If you want to play not only the most industrious faction, but also the one that generates the most influence just by being industrious, try the United Empire. Propaganda, patriotism, and the greatest of military-industrial complexes await you. Enlist today, service guarantees citizenship. So far, everyone I covered at least have the option of diplomacy. But what if that's just not in their nature?
What do you sound like?
when you scream.
The Cravers are fucking terrifying.
Yes,
As
they are.
a leftover bioweapon made by the Virtual Endless, they only have one purpose: consume everything.
Go.
Any planet with Cravers on
Oh,
it
no.
has a fixed life
Yes, it
expectancy, because the Cravers will rip it, strip it, and tear it apart. And then they move on. There is no long-term plan. There is no sustainability. There is no choice but to consume you as well.
We are coming.
Trees. Do you know how fast a tree moves?
Here we
Not
go.
very fast. The Unfallen are a race of trees. They speak with a Scottish accent.
Yes, they do.
Do you pester the heart with your petty needs?
Much like the Scottish, trees are rooted to the ground. They don't do much, and their only way of winning the game is to ask you politely, do you know how they colonize other planets? They need to slowly, delicately,
look at
without interruption, entwine them with celestial
If we get in front of
vines
those
and
fucking
hope
trees-
or
if we
pray
get
that
near
they
those
didn't
trees, we
start
gotta
next
go-
to Cravers. If you
we gotta
enjoy
go cut 'em off.
pressing and
We gotta
turn
get
and
past
being a
them,
vegetable,
yeah.
you'll enjoy
They're just gonna
playing
be
the
way too
Unfallen.
slow.
Imagine being an ostrich. Now, imagine evolving to the point where you're used as arena blood sports for the entertainment of an advanced, decadent civilization. Then, that civilization gets wiped out. You get your freedom and form a tribalistic society of samurai ostriches. Then, you accidentally stab your katana through a giant ship, and suddenly, you're a major faction. The
there we are.
Hisho were added with the Supremacy DLC, together with the main source of tears and
There it
salt
is.
on the Endless
The
Space
behemoth
2
in the room.
forums.
Yes.
Behemoths.
There it
Behemoths
is.
are multi-purpose capital-class ships. They can support the bureaucracy, plutocracy, or theocracy, accelerate genocide, accommodate homicide,
Oh, boy.
extract resources in a remote situation, and even terraform planets
made one
for
of those when I
improved
was playing Halo
habitation.
Choir, by
They
the
can do
way. Didn't get
anything.
enough
That's
to make
why
the
they're insanely
upgrade
expensive,
to it,
and you
but
get
I did
very
have
few
it.
of them. But that's not
That's
why
all that
people got
matters.
upset.
Yep.
They got upset because the Behemoth is a precursor to something a
There it
little
is, the
more
obliterator.
concerning. A planet killer is morally dubious, leaves millions of grieving
can't do in
survivors,
the game,
and
too.
generally
Yeah,
causes
well.
public
But
unrest. A
this-
system
yes.
killer accelerates a
There it is.
nuclear payload
Holy
directly at the sun,
shit.
causing it to expand into a
We're
red
doing that to
supergiant as
Issendir.
the core
We're doing that
collapses
to him.
and
He
begins
needs
to
it
fuse
right in his
hydrogen. In a
face.
single nanosecond,
I don't
all
care,
life
Zach.
in that
We have
solar
lied to the
system
fucking
is going to
academy.
need some
You need to all
SPF 70
die.
sunscreen. The Obliterator is a system
what I
killer
call
which is made by upgrading a Behemoth, and prior
don't
to
worry.
many updates and patches had no effect
I'll give
on
your
public
operations to be a
relations.
miserable
I
life.
found this incredibly entertaining. Because the missile actually has to
Everyone
travel to
leaves.
its destination, it often took several turns for enemy players to see the ball of light quickly approaching their home system. At
shit.
this point, you will notice something.
Yo, what
the
the fuck?
chat functionality, inside which you will see a stream of colorful messages calling you a number of racial slurs,
sounding very
after which
gay
the
ass.
player will mysteriously disconnect
Yep,
and
of the-
add you as a friend on Steam. Even after
Tactic.
numerous nerfs, the Hisho stand tall.
Yes,
For
they
the
do.
Hisho, combat isn't just about winning, it's about honor, which
Honor.
they call Kai because
right.
they're a race of weeaboo samurai chickens.
Yes, they
the
are.
more honorable
I might-
your
I
actions,
might
the
pick
more
them.
Kai you
Honorable.
generate,
I
the more
may pick them as the
obedient
faction I
your
choose. I
empire.
don't know.
And if it ever
They're a
falls
little-
too
they
low,
seem a
just
little
remember,
hard.
Aztec blood sacrifices
I
are a
don't know how
great
hard they
way
can
of
really
gaining
be.
popularity. Vaulters are the DLC race designed to
I won't be
completely
Vaulters.
invalidate the Sophons, because for Vaulters, location is no issue. We've got
Yes, 'cause
portals
they can
for that.
move, yes.
Disconnected system with no clear star lane, even better.
maybe
The
we'll see. I
typical
can't
Vaulter
choose
player will
just
usually
yet. There's a
fuck
lot of
off to
good
the four
ones.
corners of a galaxy
There's a lot to
and
pick from.
quietly win a science victory before we can even find them. Also, their mothership, the Argosy, can be used as a two-way portal. I very much enjoy parking outside an enemy system,
Here we go.
warping in my Obliterator, and cooking them instantaneously.
fucking
The
asshole.
Riftborn are Tetris blocks from another universe, which is currently overrun with super AIDS. In a last act of desperation, the Riftborn entered our universe. To them, it's a dystopian reality filled with all manner of squirming, wriggling creatures that piss and shit everywhere. From their perspective, they just took a one-way ticket to hell. However, they don't judge. They just want to survive. Unlike us, Riftborn aren't born. They're made in a construction queue. Otherwise, they work a lot like us, except in reverse. Terrestrial planet, I sleep. 1,000-degree lava planet with no trace of life. Real shit. Colonize immediately. Hey, it's a race of abstract geometric polygons. Give them a break. Luckily, Additionally, they can also break reality by compressing or dilating the flow of time. And if you've ever been to a college fraternity, you'll have no problem pronouncing their names.
yeah.
The second last DLC, Penumbra, introduced a controversial mechanic, hacking. It's a nice way to grab intel, sabotage enemy systems, and of course, accidentally turn a craver government into a pacifist dictatorship. With that, they also added the Umbral Choir. The Umbral Choir is an immaterial, intergalactic wraith with good intentions. Like a ghost in the machine, the Umbral Choir spreads by hacking absolutely everything. Every transmission is tapped, every system is compromised, and we have no trace of who did it, because the Umbral Choir doesn't want to be found. How do you fight something you can't see? How do you stop something that's already inside the wire? And if it's already inside the wire, then how do you know it isn't inside you already? Honestly, they're extremely fun to play, especially when your friends mouse over a system and ask why half of their GDP keeps disappearing into the Craver Pension Fund. Finally, it's a good time to talk about the last DLC, Awakening, which adds the Nakalim, a fairly interesting religious faction that I personally enjoyed, but also adds the Academy as a separate AI-controlled faction. Now, let me tell you why that's a problem, because the leader of the Academy, bear with me, I don't know how to pronounce his name, because Isandir takes territory which he doesn't need away from players. He can also enter your territory, destroy your fleets, and siege your planets. But Lord forbid you manage to sink one of Isandir's ships, which, by the way, are stronger than any other faction. That's an act of aggression, and he's going to ask you to pay reparations. Small side note, if you're getting harassed and abused by Isandir and you want him to stop, you can't. Until you discover the location of the Academy, you can't even do diplomacy. Now, let's say you forgive all that. You're open-minded, and you're wondering, what's the point of a new Academy?
I am once again asking for your financial support.
Every 10 turns, Isandir will ask for your most generous financial contribution.
If it's not obvious how Isandir looks, he's a Voidyani. He's the brother to the main leader of the Voidyanis, faction leader, by the way.
To the Academy. The highest contributions will get their preferred position within the Academy. After another 10 turns,
you can see him as like the Joshua Graham
to your financial support.
Also, he's been expertly programmed to forget any positive relations you had before, which may surprise you, since he'll go back to neutral and start attacking you. Better pay up, because you can't contribute to the Academy until you've paid reparations. If you try to take his home system, he'll demand you give it back and pay reparations. Who the fuck made this shit? Oh right, it's not even the same studio. They outsourced this.
I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all! Yeah!
All the other DLC up until Penumbra, fantastic. Love it. Awakening is about $13 you can spend to make the game worse. It's such garbage that even if I got it for free, I'd still ask for a refund. We could talk hours about strategy, metagame, and the eternal question we always return to. Is Endless Space 2 balanced? No, it is not. There are many mods to try and fix this, but ultimately, part of what makes this game so interesting is the element of randomness, forcing you to adapt and overcome the circumstances to the best of your ability. There's many players out there who will constantly demand you remake the game, citing that they don't have an optimal
We're not going to do that at all. We're just going to go with what we got. And
5-planet system adjacent to them and can't possibly compete. If you don't, they disconnect. The equivalent of this is being born on planet Earth to a middle-class family and immediately committing suicide to try and re-roll for better RNG. Because if I can't be born as the son of a wealthy Middle Eastern sheikh, I may as well not be born. Endless Space 2 is a wonderfully designed and beautifully made game with such a level of pace and intrigue that I actually bought a legal copy. I've played it for 2 years, and I still keep coming back. It satisfies every tick box I ever wanted for a Civilization game in space. It's enjoyable and relaxing, both in single player and in multiplayer. You're probably going to desynchronize before anyone actually gets angry. I like the music, and I enjoy amphibious mommy milkers. I give Endless Space 2 an extremely high score. I am also issuing a public fatwa against anyone responsible for the Awakening DLC. This time, there's no discount, because my inside man had a talk with Sega. Their formal response?
Here we go.
Fuck off. So I recommend waiting for a sale, buying on discount, or using other legal methods of purchase that I am not yet aware of. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. I'm sorry for all the delays. Streaming really put me back. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Take care and have a good one.
Alrighty.
Hell yeah.
With that, we now come to the end of the stream. I'd like to thank everyone for coming and watching me and Weeb. Don't forget to, don't forget the movie catching contest, movie picture, movie hammering going in the Discord and the arcade station, so be sure to play those when you're not busy in the Epic RPG arena or bulking in the bulk area, doing those things you'd love to do. Tomorrow will be Case on the Monday, so be sure to tune in for that. Back here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And
Hell
next
yeah.
time you see us, next time you'll see me and Weeb, not this next coming Sunday, but the Sunday after that, Endless Space 2. We're gonna start it.
We will inherit the stars.
That's right. That's what we're gonna be doing.
That's right.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. Peace.
Bye.